Regina Harrod.
Jeanette Miller.
Oscar Miller.
When we think of being more sustainable, we often think of our Washington pundits arguing for or against legislation to enact laws to protect our environment. It's usually the liberal Democrat making the case for global warming and the conservative Republican saying the effects of global warming are inconclusive, and some arguing it's an outright lie. With all the political gesturing, it's hard for anyone to decide who's right. My goal is to discuss briefly why being more sustainable will be the key to a healthy and vibrant American republic. The EPA has defined sustainability as our ability to provide everything that we need for our survival and well-being, either directly or indirectly, by our natural environment. Sustainability creates and maintains the conditions under which human and nature can exist in productive harmony that permit fulfilling the social, economic, and other requirements of present and future generations. Based on the U.S. Census, the current global population is an impressive 7 billion, and some say this number is expected to grow exponentially to a staggering 9 billion by 2050. China and India are among the largest and fastest growing nations in the world, both of which are looking to bring about their version of the American dream. The dream that individuals are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which some believe give us the right to do as we please. And they're right. We are enabled under the Constitution of the United States of America to do that which gives us the greatest utility, as long as our happiness doesn't encroach on the happiness of others. The question is, what's the cost of happiness? So what will it take to satisfy the world's insatiable wants? After the Great Depression and World War II, the world saw the rise of the greatest nation ever known in human history, the United States of America. The United States came out of the 1940s bolder, richer, and stronger than all the nations in the world. The American people, after the war and Great Depression, had a pent-up demand for goods, services, and housing that would fuel an economic boom for more than half a century. Some consider this to be the greatest single growth in world history. During this period, the advances in medicine and in technology improved tremendously. Americans were living longer and consuming more. This is also the period where we as a people started to use more and more of Earth's natural resources to fuel our industrial revolution, and in order to make way for a booming agriculture and housing industry, to feed and house our growing population, which derived mainly of new European immigrants. The results of this growth has been the creation of a strong and vibrant middle class and the increase in large multinational companies and very wealthy businesses and business owners. This increase in wealth has made the U.S. of A. the largest consumer in the world. In my Living in Environmental textbook, it states the average U.S. citizen consumes 100 times as much as the average person in the poorest countries. We buy more clothes, more food, and cars, and just about every other thing you can think of than anyone else without any plan of slowing down. And slowing down may not even be the solution. Now that India, China, and other nations are starting to see economic upswings, with these nations starting to amass more wealth and seeing rapid increases in their consumer spending, we are now starting to contend with the real phenomenon of scarcity. From my Principles of Macroeconomics book, scarcity is the perpetual state of insufficiency of resources to satisfy people's unlimited wants. If you want to see these effects, just look at a cost of a gallon of gas. The price of gasoline has risen considerably, and in just a few years, to give a perspective, in January of 1999, you could buy a gallon of gas for 93 cents. And in just a little over a decade, the cost has risen over 4 times as much. In September of 2012, gas was $3.82. The cause for this sharp increase are many, but this is the result of living in a growing world with limited resources and unlimited wants. My living in the environment textbook teaches we will need another earth if we are to continue our current path of consumption. The only other alternative will be to learn how to use technology as a medium to develop systems that will allow us to live more equitable and sustainable lifestyles. As Americans, we have to understand that it's not the planet facing peril due to unsustainable practices, but it's our own peril and way of life that is at risk. And in order to maintain our way of life, it will take we the people, not the government, to act now to stave off a complete collapse of our way of life. The nations that achieve full sustainability the quickest will experience the greatest growth and will experience a greater quality of life than those who fail. Let our nation be like it has always been, on the right side of history, so we can continue the growth and stability that we have had for so many years. Thank you.